A 10K Bitcoin could actually be in the cards if Grayscale and its parent company have indeed been infected by the crypto bankruptcy contagion. As I said in the first episode of the series, there's some seriously sketchy stuff going on in the financial ecosystem around the world's second largest crypto holder, and I am bound determined to get to the bottom of it. Now, in this episode, we are going to dive deep into the parent company of Grayscale and its CEO so that you can be familiar with the players of this corrupt and toxic game that's being played. But before we get into all of that, make sure that you smash that like button. Make sure you hit subscribe, boom, bang on that notification bell. Comment anything that you want in the relevant sections. I appreciate it. Now, let's continue peeling back the onion of Grayscale and see what we can come up with. So Grayscale is at the center of what might be crypto's single most frightening obstacle to long-term success. But Grayscale is not where the ultimate decisions will be made concerning the rapidly approaching liquidity event for the crypto investment leader. You see, Grayscale is actually a wholly owned subsidiary of a company called Digital Currency Group, or DCG. Now, let's lay down another key layer of the foundation of this story that is absolutely important. DCG is a venture capital firm that focuses on investing in the digital currency and blockchain technology industries. The company was founded in 2015 by Barry Silbert, and it is based out of Stamford, Connecticut. DCG's portfolio includes an impressive range of companies in the digital currency and blockchain space, including exchanges, wallets, payment processors, and enterprise software companies. And you may have heard of some of the companies that DCG has partial ownership in: Chainalysis, Blockstream, Circle, eToro, Dune Analytics, Fireblocks, Dapper Labs, Etherscan, Foundry, CoinDesk, Coinbase. Now, onto the companies that DCG owns outright. This is where it starts to get juicy, so track close with me. One of DCG's wholly owned subsidiaries is Genesis Global Capital, which is a digital asset brokerage platform that provides lending and borrowing services to institutional clients. CoinDesk is a digital media company that produces news, analysis, and events about blockchain technology, digital currencies, and the broader financial and technology industries. The common theme here is that DCG has positioned itself to service the big guys in the crypto universe. The common theme here is that DCG has absolutely positioned itself to serve the big guys in the cryptoverse. Whether that is a big crypto project that's looking for an investment or traditional banks and individuals that are looking to gain exposure to the crypto markets, DCG has them covered. And CoinDesk is there as well to smooth everything over, steer the narrative, and create a marketing empire. Now, let me introduce you to the guy behind the wheel of the whole operation. Now, this is the guy that we want to turn out to be the good guy, the protagonist, to counter the villainous figures like Sam Bankman-Fried, Alec Mashinsky, and Do Kwon, just to name a few. Barry Silbert is the founder and CEO of Digital Currency Group. He is a recognized thought leader in the digital currency and blockchain space, and he is often quoted in the media at important moments for crypto and the broader financial markets. Silbert is also a founding member of the Bitcoin Investment Trust, which brings us back where we left off with Grayscale. Now that you know the characters, let's get to the conflict of this plot. The real troubles for DCG actually began after the bankruptcy of FTX in November of 2022. As did everything, right? So following Chapter 11 filings of FTX, DCG's subsidiary Genesis halted user withdrawals. They said that they did this due to, and I quote, extreme market dislocation and loss of industry confidence caused by the FTX implosion. At least that was the reason that was piped through DCG's own crypto media outlet, CoinDesk. But the real reason is the FTX filing sent Bitcoin's price cascading lower, thus pausing the game of musical chairs known as the crypto lending market, at least in my opinion. So when the music stopped, Genesis was on the hook to users of the Gemini Earns program to the tune of about $900 million, with about $175 million of its own money frozen in FTX custody, never to be seen again. To make matters worse, Cameron Winklevoss, co-founder and president of Gemini, aired this dirty laundry in the most public of places, Twitter. In an open letter posted on Twitter, Cameron accused Barry Silbert of using bad faith stall tactics to avoid paying Gemini's 340,000 users their money back. Ruh-roh! The letter also alleged that DCG needs to make good on their $1.6 billion promised via a note that they owe to their subsidiary, Genesis. This is the very public emergence of a giant ticking time bomb that had actually been ticking for both Genesis, Grayscale, and their parent company, DCG, since the fall of Luna back in May of 2022. Now, I know that I went pretty fast through that, so let's zoom out and gain a little bit more context and clarity here. 30,000 foot view. Now, as I said before, Genesis is a crypto lender and broker that is in the business of delivering high rates of return for institutional clients with a high net worth. Genesis then takes the client's money and invests it into what it believes will fetch the highest rate of return, while also developing the aspects of the crypto industry that it believes should be enriched and developed. Killing two birds with one stone. Simple enough. This is how the world of investment and industry development has worked since the Industrial Revolution, by the way. Very rich people take account of money that they could each afford to lose, and they dump that pool into a high-risk, high-reward industry that they believe will not only outperform the stock market, but will make them 20x more wealthy and will brand their name forever in association with an emerging revolutionary technology. After a long career of being a lawyer or being an engineer who knows about all the cracks in the city that are decades over the limit, you have an urge to give back in some type of way. Or at least tell themselves that, when in reality they will do whatever it takes to get a slightly faster boat than the other LLP partners. But nevertheless, they still take out very real pens to write very real checks to institutional brokers like Genesis, who swear they can make a profit while saving the world. And the brokers know just how to play along. This role of the broker in those high-risk industries is to assure the rich people that their fancy New York City firm and their sophisticated, future-focused, data-driven, eco-friendly, carbon-neutral, socially aware, proprietary investment strategy is so very, very special, and you would be stupid not to invest in it. The broker then turns and feeds that liquidity to startups in the industry that spend the money on developing a product or service and the scalable business that can take it to market. And 9 times out of 10, that product is an utter failure, at least in crypto. But it is usually a failure over a long period of time, and by the time the rich, retired lawyer would notice that their high-risk investment went to zero, they are already in the office of another high-risk broker in another high-risk industry, getting hypnotized into making another big old money transfer. The crazy thing is that this system is actually very necessary for the progression of technology in our modern ecosystem, at least. Because 1 time out of 10, a rich lawyer's capital is invested into a startup that invents a stream engine or an FM radio transmitter, a television, a smartphone, or an insulin pump for diabetes patients, or a search engine. Or in the case of Genesis Global Capital, they take the money and pass it down to another broker that invests it in coins, and we are right back at the 9 in 10 high-risk investments that go to zero. Then one day in November of 2022, you get a troubling email. You get an email that says your broker Genesis Global Capital has halted customer withdrawals. You find out later that there is another broker called the 3 Arrows Capital, and apparently they aren't going to be able to pay your broker back because they invested all your money into digital real estate, monkey JPEG, coins, and your sibling company's trust. Now, let me ask you a question. Do you think a retired lawyer is going to just shrug off an email like that? And I know that this is hypothetical, but real rich people and institutions invested into Genesis through Gemini, and now they are ready to dust off those legal skills and they're ready to go to war. The lesson here is, if you are going to lose a bunch of rich people's money, make sure you lose it over a long period of time so that you can blame it on outside forces like high-risk Wall Street has for decades. Genesis and DCG lost too many people's money too quickly, and now those people are going to rip Grayscale open and extract the Bitcoin backing GBTC in one way or another. You might ask, why should I care if a bunch of rich people are going to lose their money? Well, because the process of these rich people getting their money back may require a dramatic reprice of Bitcoin to the downside. Further inquiry into DCG's subsidiaries will reveal that 3 Arrows Capital was borrowing money from Genesis to buy GBTC for Grayscale. And we will explore this potentially illegal commingling of assets and more in the next episode of this series. And I promise, you're not going to want to miss it. Did you even know that this was going on in the background? Had you even heard of 3 Arrows Capital before all of this stuff had happened? Most likely not. But if you like content like this, make sure you watch the previous video and make sure you show up to the new videos. And obviously, make sure that you smash that like button. Make sure you hit subscribe. Boom! Bang on that notification bell. Comment anything that you want in the relevant sections. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for showing up to this video. I will see you in the next one. Have a good day, everyone.